Right, we're coming out of the proceedings in the Pretoria High Court and on to Loftus Versveld, where preparations are underway for the inauguration of the 6th President of the Republic of South Africa.
He's getting out of the car. Welcome back to the Loftus Versveld Stadium in Hatfield here in Pretoria. You can see the president's motorcade, President-elect's motorcade arriving here at the stadium ahead of his inauguration tomorrow at this event that is now, of course, being treated as a rehearsal ahead of tomorrow's big inauguration. President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa, who will be sworn in tomorrow as South Africa's head of state. He will be sworn in as the 5th democratically elected head of state since democracy, and he is here. Of course, next to him you can see the Chief Justice Mogoeng, who will do the honors tomorrow to make sure that he will be sworn in per South Africa's constitution. And here at the Loftus Versveld, ahead of tomorrow's big day, the president is doing a walkabout to make sure that all the checks and balances are in place. They're treating this as an official rehearsal, meaning that they're trying to do things in the exact manner as it will be playing out tomorrow when he will be inaugurated as South Africa's president. Now, you would remember that on Wednesday he was elected in Parliament unopposed as President of South Africa. Of course, his party having the majority in Parliament, the ANC, as we have just come out of the elections on the 8th of May, where the ANC was once again voted in as the governing party of South Africa. So now that big moment awaits where we will do the final honors, and that is to swear him in as head of state. So tomorrow we expect more than 30,000 people to ascend here at the Loftus Versveld Stadium to witness this big prestigious event that will be taking place here. Heads of states from across the globe, mostly of course from the SADC region, will be here to celebrate with South Africa, to of course observe this honorable moment of President Cyril Ramaphosa being sworn in. This of course would mark his official term as South Africa's head of state. You would know that he took over from the former president Jacob Zuma last year, when the former president was recalled by his party, the ANC. And at the time, President Cyril Ramaphosa, who was the deputy president, was then given the honors to take over from President Jacob Zuma and finish that term. But on the 8th of May, he was officially then, by virtue of his party, voted in by the people of South Africa. And in Parliament, that vote was then sealed when he was elected unopposed. And tomorrow, the Constitution will then make it official when he will be sworn in by the Chief Justice of the country, Mogoeng, here at the Loftus Versveld Stadium. Now, for many who wonder why the Loftus Versveld Stadium, when we know that per tradition, per history, this big event has been taking place at the Union buildings, and now for the first time since the dawn of democracy, and perhaps even since the dawn of this country's political history, we see a president being inaugurated outside the bounds of the Union buildings. And the reasons that were given is that the government is trying to, of course, save costs here, and they feel that it's much cheaper to host the event here. They're trying to save, I think, in the region of about 120 million. And they're also saying that they want more South Africans to be part of this historic event. They hope to host more than 30,000 South Africans here tomorrow. So in less than 24 hours, South Africa will be seeing a new president who will officially rise as the country's first citizen, as the country's head of state, as he will be sworn in. There on the stadium, you can see just that conversation that's taking place between, of course, the president-elect, the Chief Justice of the country, as of course they're trying to do all the plannings, trying to just tie up those loose ends ahead of tomorrow. You can see the Minister of Defense is also there. Minister Nosiviwe Mapisanqakula is also standing there with them. The Chief of Defense is also there. So as you would know, that security is tight here at the Loftus Versveld Stadium. All the legs of security, and that include the police, intelligence, the defense force, everybody has been roped in, and they're already standing by to make sure that everything goes in a dignified manner tomorrow. Police Minister Begigele, who highlighted yet again that he is expecting, or rather he has made provisions for more than 2,500 police officers that will be deployed, and I think most of them have already been deployed here. A lot of members of the defense force are here, intelligence is here, a lot of media, as you would understand that this is a historic event. So all eyes, of course, are on this event. I think it's the biggest event after the elections that South Africa is now trying to mark. Very historic as well. Big moment when we elect and swore in a president. You can see there the president trying to, of course, guide his team in terms of what will work and what will not work. Tumamina in motion there on the stadium as they're trying to see, how exactly he'll be taking his steps, where he will be rising in honor of the rest of the country and, do the honors to lead South Africa. And it's not just about leading South Africa, it's also about some of the promises that were made, during the build-up to the elections, and some of the changes that he and his party, the ANC, promised South Africa that we will observe in this new dawn, or rather during this new dawn that is expected to unfold or to begin tomorrow when he officially rises as South Africa's head of state. Big moment that awaits the country. Less than 24 hours, President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa will be sworn in as South Africa's fifth democratically elected president. Now, the rehearsal that's taking place, you can hear the sound there from one of the members of the defense force. He is enacting the exact proceedings that will be unfolding tomorrow here at the stadium. And that's exactly in that order how proceedings will unfold. Let's just give you the visual so you can see what happens. Yes?
The Chief Justice now on the podium. Your Majesty, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the President-elect is now about to enter. Let me take this opportunity to welcome all of you to this inauguration ceremony. And may I request that you now switch off your cell phones for the duration of the ceremony, and to please not interrupt the proceedings by, among others, moving up and down the stadium during the proceedings. Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, the arrival of the President-elect.
The rehearsal here at the Loftus Versveld ahead of the inauguration that will take place tomorrow, when President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa will be rising as the country's head of state after being sworn in. So let's speak to Mayor Pumla Williams here from the GCIS, just to take us through the significance of having this rehearsal.
I think, Patricia, you will understand how excited we are, and it's a big day for South Africans. And yes, when you do an event of this magnitude, you've got to be precise and make sure that everything goes according to plan. And you will realize that there are quite a number of steps that are need to take place, from the fly past to the swearing in ceremony to everything has got to be planned to the T. And that's exactly what they are doing, is to dry run to make sure that everything goes according to plan. And you will see that the army is also doing its own drill, because they also have to make sure that their training, their drill is according to plan.
And it's one of those big, historic, prestigious events where we really cannot afford anything to go wrong. We can't drop the ball as a country.
We can't. Actually, we're quite excited about it. I think this is historic that we're having this asset, the army, coming to be showcased tomorrow. I think we're very excited with what we are doing, and it is historic because you will realize that it's the first time that we are showcasing our army to the South Africans, and we're hoping that they will be excited as we are, and also to put in place our very new president who is on record in having said, this is what I am committing to do going forward. And I think since he was appointed, a lot of us have seen the things that he has committed in the State of the Nation. He has kept to his promise. He committed that there's going to be investment summit. He did commit to and implemented that. He committed to address the issue of SARS. That has also been done, and there's more things to come. And I think the president has said that my focus is going to be creating jobs, and we have no reason why we shouldn't be excited, because this is one of the challenges that is facing our country. All of us are looking up to, but I think I should also say that this event is trying to get South Africans to rally. The president cannot do this task alone. We all have to join hands in support.
And that links on to the Tumamina campaign. I mean, who can forget that moment when he captured the attention of the nation with that slogan, Tumamina. It was sending that message that it is about all of us, for all of us.
Precisely. I think this event, it's just setting the tone that yes, I am here and I'm going to be doing what I had committed to do, but I need all of you to rally behind what we are trying to do. For instance, I mean, he's on record in saying, I want to deal with the issues of corruption. And it's a question of us asking ourselves, what am I going to do in my workplace, in whatever that I do, in making sure that I don't get involved in corruption? Because the president cannot do it alone. It's a question of mindset of South Africans to say we owe it to our country, we owe it to the program of the president in making sure that I don't get involved in corruption.
Collective contribution to build a South Africa that can actually be a home to all, regardless of who lives in it.
It's our future, and it's the future of the generations to come. And I think we who are still working, we owe it to generations that are going to come behind us, because we must make sure that we leave a legacy. We must leave a legacy that our children, our grandchildren, when they come in, they find a country that is ethical, that is very sensitive to poverty, that is sensitive to the needs of the South Africans.
Right, I will have to leave it at that. Here at the Loftus Versveld Stadium, of course, we continue with the rehearsals that are taking place ahead of tomorrow's inaugural event. Let's give it back to studio for now.
Well, thank you there.